you ready for some awesome breakdowns with Scott and Sean? It's time for 6 Minute Abs. Step into my office.
Let's go!
What's up, everybody? Welcome into 6 Minute Abs. Awesome breakdowns with Scott and Sean. Today it's just Sean, no Scott, so abs with one S. Here to break down Charlie Squad 7. I started out with one hole in this draft once again. I was able to snag Bijan Robinson, Bucky Irvin, Coleman, and J.K. Dobbins to fill out my running back room. I was really happy with that running back core, especially being able to get Irvin in the 6th round, at the end of the 6th round, no less. I definitely think that was a good steal there. I like the fact that Justin Jefferson and Rashee Rice were both available to me, giving me that, and then DK and Tate to fill out my receiving core. I like that starting as well. And then Colson Loveland at the 5-1, I think, was also a really nice pick. So obviously, you always like your own teams. I do think I did well with this one, better than the last one that we covered. Sweet Laka was drafted in the 2 hole. He's drafted quite a bit with us so far. I like his 2 quarterbacks right out of the gate, Josh Allen, Caleb Williams. He waited a while to take a 3rd quarterback, but those 2, I could see why you would. James Cook and RJ Harvey, I think, is a good, solid running back core. He also did grab Tajay Spears there a little bit later on. Olave, Flowers, Harrison, and Myers are good receivers to have, build a good core with. And then he did go a little heavy on the tight end early on with the 0.5 TEPs to Harold Fannin, Jake Ferguson, and Oronde Gadsden, all guys that I think could have a really, really stellar year, potentially have 3 of the top 5 tight ends right there. So good draft for you, Sweet Laka. Mr. HL 2008. What's up, buddy? Good to see you in here again. He's drafting in the 3rd hole. Jameer Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, Quinshon Judkins, Corey Krosky-Merritt. You are not going to find a better running back core than that. Justin Herbert, Sam Darnold as his quarterbacks. He did draft a 3rd quarterback a little bit early, or a little bit later than Kirk Cousins, which I do think will end up being a starter at some point this year. So I like that move. Lad McConkey, Michael Pittman, Terry McLaurin, and Quentin Johnston, I think, are all solid receivers to have to fill out a starting core there. And then he waited a little ways to get him, but Brenton Strange at the 9-3 hole, I think, is a good way to fill in a tight end if you'd like to wait on one. Cyborg, he's next at the 1-4. He started out with Christian McCaffrey and then waited till the 5th round for Josh Jacobs and then waited a little while longer to snag James Conner and Zach Charbonnet down in the 12th and 14th round. It's a good running back core, a little bit suspect on the depth, but we'll see how things work out with Charbonnet and his injury, and maybe that'll change things. Justin Herbert, Tyler Shuck, and Shedeur Sanders, I think, is a solid core, especially waiting long enough to take Shedeur Sanders as your 3rd. At least you got a guy that will most likely start at some point this year. Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Devontae Adams, Lemon, and Evans to fill out his receiving core is a really solid receiving core to have. And sneaking in Dalton Kincaid at 8-9, I thought was a good pickup there. I like your team, Cyborg. Maybe not as good as a couple of the others that we've covered, but I definitely like that team. Jimmy Wojo drafting at the 1-5 once again in almost every league. Love to see it. You got Joe Burrow, C.J. Stroud, and J.J. McCarthy as his 3 quarterbacks. Not a bad room there. I like your top 2 guys at least to be starters for you. And then if J.J. ends up not playing, at least you don't 100% need him. Devon Achane, Amarion Hampton, Travion Henderson, you have Jordan Mason. Those are some good running backs to have to get a nice solid core there for that. And then T. Higgins, Devontae Smith, Luther Bird, and Ricky Pearsall, all the way down to Chris Godwin, I thought was a really, really solid group of receivers to get them where you got them. So I like your team right there, Jimmy. I think this is one of your better drafts. Enemy of Dave, War Eagle, our Auburn fan. How you doing, buddy? Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Wan'Dale Robinson, DJ Moore. You can't get better than that at the spots you took them. I promise you that, especially after free agency and trades. Dak Prescott, Jared Goff is a really solid quarterback for your 3 and 4 round right there. I do think you might have missed the ball a little bit, taking the rookie as your 3rd quarterback in case he doesn't even start this year. But otherwise, I do like the core. Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, David Montgomery, those are some solid running backs to work around. And then as we talked about, your receivers are going to carry the squad. So great job there, Enemy of Dave, with your first draft in the Sudden Death Fantasy family. And right on over to our buddy Rubio at the 1-7 hole. Now, Rubio's drafted a few of these with us. I like his Puka Nacua at 1-7. I think that is a steal and a half. And then Brock Bowers at 2-6 is right there with him. But Puka Nacua, Jalen Waddle, Christian Watson, those are some solid receivers to build around. Like I said, he had Brock Bowers. He took Kelsey late, who we now know is a good move, being that he's coming back this year. Saquon Barkley, Ken Walker, DeAndre Swift, Trey Benson, all guys that are going to play this year. 3 of them should be starters. I do like that move as well. And then to fill out Baker Mayfield, Malik Willis, and Cam Ward and get actual 3 starters on your team at quarterback, 2 of which can run the ball pretty well. I think that's a really good move for you, man. I think Rubio did a great job with this team, and I'm happy to see that draft right there. M. Weldon one, another one of our multi-leaguers here. This guy's been in quite a few of them, and we're glad to have you. Drake May, Jaden Daniels to start your draft is always a good way to go with quarterbacks. I do like that you came back and slammed the receiver hardcore with Malik Neighbors at 3.8. What a steal that turned out to be. Nico Collins, Ted McMillan, and Tyson to fill that out was really good, along with Jennings down there at the later rounds. That was a good pickup as well. Little suspect on those running backs, waiting all the way down till 7-8 to get Jalen Warren, Bashal Tootin, and Kenny Monungai as your main guys, or Kyle, I'm sorry. That's a little bit sus, not going to lie. You could end up running into some issues throughout the season with that. I know your depth is not quite there either. Braylon Allen is somebody that will potentially play well for you, and Miller if he stays healthy, but otherwise you got a lot of question marks there. So that's the one area I would say that you might have missed the ball just a little bit. Blueprint 65. He has a good running back started out with Jeremiah Love. Now, whether or not he turns into a great running back in the fantasy realm in year one, we'll see. I definitely think it was a little early, in my opinion, to take him over a guy like, Janty or Chase Brown even, or Devon Achane, Jonathan Taylor. A lot of guys I think I might have taken over Love right there. But that's just because he's a rook coming in. I'm always a little suspect on rookies. I do like Jordan Love, Bo Nix as your quarterbacks. I think your receiving core looks solid where you took them with Pickens, Egbuka, Odunze, and Addison. I think those are all good picks at the time. Woody Marks and then to Tony Pollard to back up Love also makes me a little skeptical in that running back room. Tyler Warren is a great tight end, and then Hunter Henry is a great backup to have behind him. Everywhere but that running back room looks great on Blueprint 65's team. B. Drake 86 drafted in the 10 hole, all the way with Jackson Smith and Jigba dropping all the way in. That's crazy to me. Lamar Jackson at 2-3 was another solid pick, but let's go into the receiving core real quick to finish that out. He ended up getting A.J. Brown all the way down in the 6th round, Jameson Williams at the 8th round, Cortland Sutton in the 10th round. All good players and all good timings to take them. I do like Chase Brown and Derrick Henry when you took them, give you two solid backs to kind of anchor your core there. You did take a couple rookies later on, which I think will help you out if they end up playing, because rookie running backs are the one position I don't mind taking a little more of. Tucker Kraft and Sadiq are two solid tight end prospects. Kraft, if he's healthy, will be in the top 5, and Sadiq has a potential as just an athletic freak to be somebody special. So I do like your plays. Mendoza as well. He's going to start at least as your second quarterback. Fill out that room. Geno Smith, we hear, is probably going to start for the Jets this year. Surprise, surprise, the Jets making another move. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, but at least he's starting for you. Moving into the 111 spot, we've got Mundog. He has Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brian Thomas, and Alec Pierce as his 3 receivers. I do like that core a lot. I think Brian Thomas at the 8th round is a steal and a half. And Alec Pierce getting paid what he did means the man's going to get some targets at minimum, right? Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, Chuba Hubbard, Kenneth Gainwell. I like those moves. I'm a little suspect on the fact that you stacked Kyron Williams and Blake Corum so early as your top 2 backs. That's a little not a move I would make personally myself, but I don't hate the idea of having the guy in case one ever gets hurt. I like Kyle Pitts at 5'11". I think that was a solid pickup. And then AJ Barner down there later on too. He's dropping down there where people I think are getting him at a really good price. To fill us out in the final spot at the 112 hole, we had our buddy Spliskin. He's drafted in multiple leagues of these, and he's doing a great job with it. Janty, Scadaboo, Javonte, Ramondre. Good pickups right there for his running back room. Took the first tight end off the board in 2-1 with Trey McBride, but then came back around and snagged 2 solid quarterbacks in Mahomes and Purdy to get 3-12 and 4-1. I thought that was a really good move for him. I'm not too happy with Penix. Obviously, we don't think he's going to start at this point, and I don't think he really did too great with the receiving core. Waited a little too long and ended up with Michael Wilson and Parnell Washington as your top 2, all the way down to DK and Hill as your 3rd and 4th. Little worried about how that position is going to play out for you. That might be the downfall to your team in this league. But, we'll see. It's always a new season, right? So that's a breakdown for Charlie Squad 7. I hope you guys enjoyed me and rambling on and on instead of having my buddy Scott here. He'll be back with me soon again, and we'll do this for the next draft that completes. Thanks a lot again, guys. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Let's go!
Thanks for watching 6 Minute Ads. Please like and subscribe to Sudden Death Fantasy Sports.
Let's go!